Real men don't wear cologne. Let me back up. Basically, I think that the new secondhand smoke is fragrances. Fragrances are disgusting. They are endocrine interrupters. They are causing thyroid dysfunction in babies, in utero. They are coming out in our breast milk and causing lack of testosterone in our babies because it's coming through. But we constantly wash ourselves in fragrances. We wash our clothes in fragrances. We sleep in sheets that are covered in fabric softener. We drive around in cars filled with plug-ins or little things you put on your dashboard and roll up the windows and have the air conditioning going, and we just absorb chemicals. And we are being obliterated with chemicals. Our ability to have children is being obliterated with chemicals in our food, in our agrochemicals, in our water. Why are we doing it to ourselves? And I also want to say that we're not just doing it to ourselves. 35% of fragrances that are causing medical dysfunction in others are secondhand. It's coming from other places. Here in Texas, if you go into the DMV or you go into the courthouse or you go to pay your taxes, guaranteed they've got a bunch of plugins and they are completely destroying your endocrine system with fragrances. And people are working in there and they're just not having any choice and they're completely being inundated. My ex-husband, he can't even go in the laundry aisle of a Target or a Walmart without getting complete infections around his eyes and rashes and sneezing. And I get a sore throat, my tongue swells up, and I feel something like between my ears and my throat. And my husband, when I first married him, he was like, oh, that's some white people stuff. I don't know what is wrong with you. You're so sensitive. You're so sensitive. But after living a few years in our house where we don't use any scented products, no Fabuloso, we don't use any scented laundry soap, we don't use scented dish soap, we don't do any of that. After just a few years of doing that, my husband became as sensitive as me, which means that we're all being desensitized to this firsthand or secondhand endocrine interrupters. We get on an airplane and you sit next to someone and you can smell them. That person is actually causing harm. And I, at this point, would prefer a cigarette than I would to these different things that are in fragrances. And do you know that when you see the word fragrance or flavor, because of the patent laws and the trade secrets, they don't have to tell you what's in it. And so we don't even know what's in these fragrances. We know a list of toxic things that they're allowed to put in it. And in Europe, they have banned a bunch of stuff in colognes, but here they have not. But they haven't banned even 20% of what is causing harm. So when you look at obesity, thyroid dysfunction, lack of testosterone, and inability to get pregnant, and when we're talking about this, if you're going to do IVF or you're going to do fertility treatments, one of the first things they tell you is to get rid of all the fragrances in your house because they know that it's causing this dysfunction. And now, while we're on the subject of this, you see these men, and back to what I started this video with, they're all buff. They go to the gym, they're gym bros, and then they smell disgusting because they're drenching themselves in cologne, which is operating in their body like estrogen. So they're doing all this stuff to keep their T up, and then they're drenching themselves in something that their body recognizes as estrogen. So this is not a win for men. And on another side, you're supposed to be paying attention to these signals that God made in all of us, that we have a scent. And so we are attracted to certain scents. And these are pheromones. These are meant to be put out to attract the right man, the right woman. When you smell a baby's head, you get this feeling of like, oh, I love this baby. I want to protect it. That is a pheromone that baby is putting out. It's a survival technique. Well, what if we're marrying the wrong people because we don't even know what they smell like? What if we are completely scrambling God's design to have you be attracted to the right person? And I know people that have been like, I really liked this girl, but I didn't like how she smelled. That probably means that they should not marry her. Something that her body was putting off is not compatible with their body. So we need to move away from all these chemical fragrances. We're being poisoned in so many different ways, but we have the power to say, I'm not going to put scented products on my hair, in my mouth, on my cosmetics, on my body, and on our clothes, and especially on our underwear. Imagine you wash your clothes with Tide Pods or whatever that smell downy. Now you're rubbing something that disrupts your hormones against your coochie all day long in your underwear. And while we're on that subject, polyester also is disrupting our hormones in a major way. There was a study about dogs, and they put polyester pants and cotton pants on these dogs. And the dogs that had the polyester pants had 75% less fertility than the dogs with the cotton pants. So if we want to reproduce, let's keep the scents and the polyester away from our bodies, our homes, our cars, and especially our coochies. Finding clean skincare is hard, and finding American skincare that comes from a company that your values align with, that you're not feeling like you're supporting the woke craziness out there, is hard. But we here at Sovereignty Ranch make Sovereignty's Radiance Skin Balm. This is so good for your skin. It has tallow, it has turmeric from our greenhouses, and it has pepper, and it's so amazing. It also has local honey, and it just feels so good. We've heard me talk about the inability for men's sperm to be healthy in this current world, that the scientists are saying by 2040 there will be no viable sperm in westernized men. The average sperm count will be 0. You could look this up, you could Google it. I'm not being hyperbolic about this. So if we know that we are poisoning ourselves out of the ability to have children, why do we love fragrances that much? What is it? Like, people feel like their clothes aren't clean unless they smell like chemicals. But what if clothes could just be clean, smelling like nothing? What if you don't need to smell like Old Spice and Tide and Downy and Victoria's Secret's lotion and all of these things? And what's the cumulative effect? Like, in the average home, how many scented products are we exposing our children to? Are we exposing ourselves to throughout the day? I mean, let's just, go through the day. You wake up, you're going to wash your hair in the shower, body wash in the shower, or soap in the shower. Then you're going to brush your teeth with some chemicals. And then you're going to go downstairs, you're going to drink your coffee. And if it's not organic and mold free, definitely has some chemicals in it. And then you're going to do your dishes with some chemicals, mop your floor with some chemicals, get in your car with some chemicals, spray some cologne on yourself, put on some deodorant. I mean, that's just in the first hour of your day. This cumulative effect is crazy, and there's been no studies to say that adding all these things together are going to be safe. It's not. And we deserve informed consent, just like we deserve informed consent about medical procedures and vaccines and all of these other things. We deserve informed consent when it comes to fragrances, and we don't have it. California has just passed a law that you have to be able to disclose allergens. Well, okay, allergens, so you don't want peanuts in your cologne. I'm not even that worried about peanuts in my cologne. I don't want anything that's going to make my children not be able to not be obese or be able to have children. I want them to be able to have children. So as we scream about reproductive rights, we should eliminate all of these fragrances from our lives, because this is something easy. It's not necessary. It doesn't bring any value to our lives. It is literally just crushing our ability for our hormones to function. Thyroid dysfunction is rampant in our culture. Think about it. How many people do you know that are on thyroid medication, are having thyroid issues? This is a normal thing that is happening in our world. And so we have the power, and we have to remember it. We have the power of what we put in our mouth, and we have the power of what we put on our body. We do not have the power necessarily to change what's being sprayed in the skies above us. We don't have the power to change every chemical that's in our food, in our water, there's chlorine, all these things in our water. There's birth control pills in our water, all of this. But the reality is what we put on our body, what we put in our house, what we put in our car, and what we put in our mouth, we have the power to change it. So this is an invitation to descentify your house. Let's clean all of our houses and make them to be fresh, smelling like nothing. And what are the things you can do? You can use baking soda, you can use vinegar, you can use unscented shampoos, conditioners. And I know a lot of men that have actually given up shampoo altogether. If you have short hair, like I don't even think people really need shampoo. It's a little bit of a scam and a waste of money. If you have long hair, maybe you need shampoo every once in a while. But I only wash my hair with actual shampoo every couple of weeks. And then the rest of the time, I just wash with water. And of course, you want to wash the important parts with soap, but you don't need to wash your whole body. There's microbiology all over your body that is so healthy for you, and you're getting rid of it. So let's descentify our houses and let's let our children be able to reproduce, and let's not have them have thyroid dysfunction and obesity and all of the things that are connected to all of these chemicals in all the fragrances in everyday products that are not safe. It's literally, the FDA is not there to keep you safe. It's not. You can't trust them. So it's up to you, moms, dads, family members, to stop poisoning our families.